Hey, good morning. Well, no, good afternoon if you're on the live broadcast. And we're broadcasting from two spots from both Facebook and YouTube. I always get on early, so you've got time. Don't say, oh my God. No, you got time to settle in and get yourself ready. I get on early so I can do my shout outs and get a chance to let Facebook build the audience, as it's called. Got to understand your technology. So our message was actually start at 1. So we've got less than 4 minutes to go to the message. But welcome. All right. So if you're watching the broadcast and this is your first time watching Glue Wednesday, what you'll learn is that it's called Glue Wednesday. I created it because so often people say that Wednesday is hump day because it's the middle of a 5-day week and then the weekend. And in the old school, that's all we acknowledged was a 5-day work week and a weekend, because that was where our imagination, you either work Monday to Friday and then it's the weekend because most of the people you knew, that's when they worked. But the truth is people have always had some type of a shift schedule anyway. And Wednesday is actually the middle of a conventional 7-day week, regardless of when you work. So therefore, I decided that Wednesday is the day that keeps the week beginning and the weekend together. So Wednesday is the glue that keeps it. See, Monday to Friday used to say hump day. Well, Wednesday is the glue. It keeps us together. We don't need to hump. We need to keep it together. And so you see, it brings us right into a prayerful state, which is my favorite anyway. And therefore, my glue is GLUE. God's love undoes everything. So that's what Glue Wednesday is all about. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. We've got less than 3 minutes for the message for today's message to come to you live. But again, if you're watching the broadcast now, you've got some background on what we're talking about, why I created it. And also the reason, and there's nothing wrong. Cliches are important in our lives. We use them. But what we have to do is hear what the cliche is. So there's actually nothing wrong with saying hump day. But you know what? I'm word sensitive and I always like to find a positive twist on something that makes you just slow down and rethink it. See, so that's why I say glue. Let's keep it together. Let's not hump. Let's keep it together, because the truth is, if you're humping, you could be working too hard. Whereas keeping it together is hard too. All right. So you got to, so even though I say that off the top, I think about it and it's hard either way because it's not easy being you. Well, we've got less than 2 minutes to go to the live message. But yeah, it's not easy being you. But what you'll find is that's really what I speak about all the time. It's how important it is to be yourself and to recognize. One of the things I do is I tell people, and actually, spoiler alert, it'll come up in today's broadcast. I tell people, put yourself first. A lot of times, well, I got to put my family first, my wife, my husband, my kids. No, you have to put you first. If you don't take care of you, you can't take care of anybody else on your list. I call it take care of your PMS. We've all got PMS, and that's your physical, mental, and spiritual state of mind. Focus on you. FOCUS. Finding ourselves creates unlimited success. Focus on you and let other people come into focus. So you've got to take care of yourself. We've got less than a minute to go to today's message. I see a couple of people on. If you want to throw your name in the chat and where you're watching from, put FB if it's Facebook, YT if it's YouTube, so I can give you a shout out. But that's how we do it. But hey, what's up, Zach? Focus. Good. You got it right in time. I made it. Yep. And so, yeah, like I said, put yourself first, because once you take care of you, you'll take care of everybody on your list. So focusing on yourself doesn't separate people from you. It pulls people to you. And thank you. I figured you were on Facebook. I appreciate it. Yeah. So thank you. Yeah. So, FB will, and the reason, by the way, technology lesson, since I'm broadcasting on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live at the same time, I remember the first time that I combined the two, and people were putting stuff in the thread, and I thought everybody was getting to read what one another was saying, because I'm broadcasting from an app called StreamYard. And so that allows me to broadcast live, but I see one thread. And so even if when I was broadcasting in 3 spots, I'm seeing one thread, but only the people that are on that particular site are seeing what they are posting, and I'm talking to them like they seeing one another's site, and it turned out that only I saw their site. So that's why I say that now. So thank you, Vic. Oh, you were in Georgia? Oh, okay. Oh, good afternoon, GA. Good afternoon. And he's on Facebook. All right, good. Good to see you, Vic. I'm getting ready to start our message. And then it goes Deb Holt, my longtime modeling buddy and pal, and great blessing to me last week when she said that this is helping her manage an office of 500. See, always know that the seeds that you throw will plant. Man, but let's go, because as I was preparing this thing, man, I came up with, I thought it was a sermon. But but here's what we're going to do. All right, so you know about Glue Wednesday, but today what I'll do is I'll welcome back. I'll call it welcome back and introduce others to what I call the GAS series, GAS, the Glue Alphabet series, as each message will feature the next letter in the alphabet with words that were suggested by last week's viewers. So last year I did the alphabet series, and it was a big hit where people gave me a word for the letter. And then the next week, I created the message using the words and I call them my co-authors. So this week's message will feature the letter A, and my topic will be America, anger, and awareness. America, anger, and awareness. My co-authors for today's message are Deborah Holt Knight. She gave me the word allowable. Vic Morris gave me the word about. Roger Carroll Rogers gave me the word almighty. Sabrina P.W. gave me the word amazing. And Ramona Hopkins gave me the word allowable. I'm sorry, anchor. So as you can see, the words don't necessarily have to have anything to do with one another, but they all begin with the letter A. And so I love it because it becomes my creative challenge to get it into the message. And I'll give you a secret. If you're ever writing a paper or whatever you're writing, a resume, an article, whatever you're writing, if this is what I call building a word bank. So by everybody giving me words with the letters A, now as I go through, I get those words into my message. But then there's something called the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon, which a good friend of mine, Pastor Wyman Winbush, he gave me the word. I actually didn't. I knew this phenomenon, but I didn't know there was the word for it. But as you focus on a certain thing, so focusing on the letter A and putting these words in the message, a whole lot more words that begin with the letter A ended up in the message. So that's one of the things you can do. You build your word bank by choosing the letter. So you can take a topic. So let's say you're writing a resume. So take the job that you're interviewing for. So you're interviewing for a clerk. I want to give us a few letters. And you take the letters in the words clerk, C-L-E-R-K. And what characteristics with each letter of those would go into being a clerk. So for the C, let's say it could be you had to be caring. For the L, you had to be loyal. For the E, you had to have energy or excellence because you're going to be a good customer service. Ooh, the C could have been customer service. See, the R, responsible because you're a clerk and you're helping someone else. K, knowledgeable because if you're the clerk, you need to know where to send people. So then as you take those words and you build it into why you're putting your resume together, your characteristics, you'll see that they come up. You will. But anyway, here we go. Those are my co-authors, and those are the words that they gave me. And here's what I said. I wanted to look at them, and I say, you know what Vic gave me. I reordered them because I wanted to say what Vic gave me the word about. So what I want to say to you as we think about America, anger, and awareness, you need to know who you are, and you need to know what you're about. Roger Carroll gave me almighty. Why? Because you need to know who you serve. Sabrina gave me amazing. Why? Because you need to know what you are. Deborah gave me allowable. Why? Because you have to teach people how to treat you. Okay? Oh, see, Zet, you're saying Goya is on, and see, I don't see her in the feed. Oh, but you might see her somewhere else. Okay. Well, she didn't put a comment in there. That's why. You just might see her. Okay, good. Hey, Goya. My spiritual sister is on. Getting a hello from my maternal sister. See, God is good. Watch out, y'all. So let's go back to the message. Perfect timing. Goya is my spiritual sister. She know I love this scriptural stuff. Okay, so that's why Vic gave what I did with Vic's About, with Roger Carroll's Almighty, with Sabrina's Amazing, with Deborah's Allowable. And then Ramona gave me Anchor. And I want to start there with Anchor. And Anchor is something that grounds you in yourself. Remember I said focus, your mind and your body. And Anchor is something you can hold on to when you feel overwhelmed. Remember, we're taking care of ourselves. And Anchor is something that makes you feel calmer, more at ease, and more sure of yourself. It's confidence. See, there's a C for confidence. We have to continue to anchor ourselves in faith, even when we are faced with obstacles or challenges. Just as the boat has an anchor to prevent the craft from drifting due to wind or current, we have to stay anchored in our faith and the cross to prevent us from drifting away from our true purpose in this world. So those are the 5 words that I am working into my message. And let me start out with America. One of my Facebook friends, his name is Jean-Luc Irie, who lives in Ivory Coast, Africa. He sent me an inbox message that said, American people are very religious. I really don't understand why some like killing others for nonsense. And that's a part of the message. Here's my answer to him. Killing people is in the Bible, not just America. The spirits of hatred, jealousy, fear, idolatry, insecurity, and evil are not new. They're disguised in different actions. The freedom of America has moved it to a visible place of high expectations. Like most champions, our crumbling must come from the inside after losing focus of how we became strong. There will always be traitors, violence, and evil in our lives. There will also always be trusting, peaceful, and good in our lives. Both sides think the opposite of the other. Both think that God is on their side. That's why I tell people to choose their messengers carefully. That's why I accept that sometimes the choice has not yet been made. And I work hard at not letting the negativity distract me. So there's the America. See, that's what I'm saying. Both sides think they're right. But, and the side we're on, we can clearly see that it was not it was not a protest last week when they stormed the Capitol. It was a riot. It was an insurrection. Okay, so we have to recognize that, and we see that now. They may post things differently, but no, this was a coup. This was an attempt at tearing America apart. Okay, let me take a minute and go in the feed, because I always like to do that between thoughts. The answer is absolutely. See, and there's the A, answer and absolutely. See, remember, I'm going to have to put that in there. The Bader-Meinhof phenomenon. But yeah, it's absolutely important. Thank you. And because that's what I'm saying to him. Here, this guy is in Africa. And this is, again, it's a reminder to us, that the world is looking at us. The world is looking at us, and they're looking at us for leadership. And this is what we're going to show them. Aren't most of our wars and stuff based on trying to help people become a democracy? But what are we teaching them about how a democracy leads? So you really have to think about that. Okay. Zetine Thornton, greetings, my sister. Okay, that's Goya Carolyn saying hi. All right, and then Vic, time to deal with Fox's news spreading lies. Yeah, and you know what? It's Vic. It's a couple of things too. It's funny how I read into things differently. Fox News, yeah. See, where you get your news from changes your perspective. So see, the people you're saying Fox spreads lies, and the people who watch Fox says MSNBC spreads lies. See, so both sides think they're right. And then you know what? But let's go even. And here's what I'm saying about another way of looking at it. What are we hearing a lot right now this week? We're hearing the quote from Malcolm X. where he said chickens have come home to roost. And we think about the chickens, we think about the foxes. All right. So this is what I'm saying. When depending on your side, you will find a way to justify your point of view and to take the sting out of somebody else's point of view and make it and try to make it work for you and try to knock them down. So that's what the foxes are, right? So Tanya, you're right. Okay. Thank you. And welcome aboard, Tanya. Now, because there's a delay in the thread, I don't necessarily know what Tanya's telling me I'm right about, but all of y'all caught him. All of y'all caught what she was saying I was right about. And then you probably see it when you're watching the video. But glad to know that. And obviously Tanya's on Facebook, Cosette and them saw it. Exactly true. We must fact check. You got to fact check. Man, I use truthforfiction.com and Snops. SNOPES. Some people say Snoops and I'm glad that I got very few, but a couple of people say, oh, you know what? Don't open the email if it says Trump has been evicted or something like that. That was actually a post from 2017, and it was when it came out after he had won the presidency. So yeah, always fact check before you decide to send it out and let people know, oh, hey, watch out, don't do this. Because what that is a distraction. If I can get you focused on something else, and that's coming up in our lesson today as well, I can slip other stuff in on you. So always do your fact checking. And fact checking, PS, by the way, is you've got to try to find a neutral source. And so truthoffiction.com is neutral. You're not going to fact check by calling me, right? Because I'm going to give you my viewpoint. So, right. So let's be conscious of that. All right. So let's always know. All right. So let's go back to the message. And I like to keep my co-authors' names up there because that's this way. When you hear their words, you may notice it. All right. But that's why my affirmation, wait, let me read the sentence that says, I work hard at not letting the negativity distract me. See, just what I just now finished saying to you about how sometimes people, the media will give us something to distract us. Well, where does the media get the distraction from? From the source. Okay, in this case, Trump is giving the media something to distract us. And that's what that attack on the White House, that, we look at, if it had been Black Lives Matter, it would have been different. If it had been, where were the police? How comes the FBI? All of that is a distraction. Because the fact of the matter is it happened and something needs to be done about it. Yeah, all of those are good arguments and they're true. Now let's do something about it. Because if the media can keep us focusing on what should have happened or what could have happened, we'll be so busy caught up in being angry about that we won't see that things get done. Because there's somebody whose job it is to get things done. Everything that you're complaining about is somebody's job to see to that. Remember? So just when I say to you, focus on you, I'm talking to everybody. Focus on you. And we're going to see that I've got a little remedy and a formula for you here in today's message about how you can be even more resolute about doing that. But my acronym, so that's America, my acronym for anger is in 3 parts. It's avoidable nonsense geared toward energy reduction, applying negativity geared toward energy reduction, and actually negating God's expectations and requirements. Put a pin right there. Let's see what we got in the comments. Okay. Thank you. All right. Okay. I'm going to bet that had something to do with talking about the distractions, because that is, but thank you. Yeah. Okay. Oh, good. Let me go back, because I know I'm supposed to really, Zetine, inbox me for your physical reading. I have a great message for you. Okay. All right. Okay. See, now people even, okay. Now, if y'all don't know Ifa Tunde, then don't bother inboxing that person. Okay. But if y'all do know them, then go on. But let me know. Okay. Because see that again, this is a thing that we have to know about technology. And let me see what I can do here. Can I do? Okay. Anyway, all of y'all, If y'all don't, and I'll let him or her know. If y'all don't know Ifa Tunde, look at this because this will be the last time you'll see their name. All right, all right, okay, all right. So let me see. Don't know them? Okay, they'll be deleted. They'll be deleted. So good thing y'all seeing their name now. You'll never see it again. See, you can't jump in and try to because if you inbox them, then they'll get your name. All right. Anyway, believers understand that God is not a God of confusion. He's not. Distractions are a source of confusion. Remember that because when we're going to get to that, all right. But yeah, those are the distractions. And when we get to the news part of this, I want to bring that back up. All right. So it's where was I? Oh, so we've got those three affirmations, and I call them affirmations because they're acronyms that are affirmations. So you've got to avoid the nonsense geared toward energy reduction. See, anger is a reactionary emotion. Now we're talking about distractions. That if I can keep you angry, I can control you. My suggestion is that you avoid waking up and jumping into the hyped up news that you went to bed with in your spirit. See, before you got to be careful of what you watch on the news before you go to bed. Because when you go to sleep, you're in a meditative state. And the last thing that went in is what ruminates overnight. And so news is negative. The good news doesn't sell. So all the negativity that you watch, that's what you go to sleep with, those problems on your mind. I'm not saying don't watch the news. We have to be aware, but watch some comedy or a show that you really like in between after you've gotten your little fix of the news. And then when you wake up, don't jump into the news. I don't wake up and jump into the news. I wake up and I have my morning meditation routine that I do in terms of reading my scripture and having my meditation tape on in the background. Before I will check an email, before I will check a text message, my first conversation has to be with God. What did you say, Deborah? Okay. Believers understand that God is not a God of confusion. And so I'm talking to God first because I want to get straight with him about where we're going in this day. All right. So there again, there's one of my formulas for reminding you that when you wake up, avoid the nonsense. Don't jump into, because some people go to bed with Trump on their mind and they wake up with Trump. Well, let's see what he's doing now. Why? You know what? You've got to make sure that you think about skipping the news for a day or two. I'll give you one day first and then try two, but skip the news. Skip it. Like a soap opera, the message won't change. The messenger will change. See, the message won't change, but the messenger will. A new person for you to direct your anger at will be highlighted. And that's, again, what I'm saying to you, Deborah, about how you say about, God, distractions are a source of confusion. See, the message won't change about the nonsense that went on at the Capitol, but the messenger will. They'll give you another angle. You starting to get calmed down with the fact that what the cops didn't do. So now you're getting, now let's talk about, what the FBI didn't do. Now let's talk about how now they're bragging about who sat in Nancy Pelosi's office. See, they'll always give you a new person to be angry at. And so your anger builds instead of you staying calm and recognizing something that's coming up again. Again, I love giving y'all, see, y'all are so with me. I love giving y'all the shout out, the spoiler alert. We're going to talk about confusion. We're going to talk about this. And you know when we're going to talk about it? When we talk about the fact that the battle is not yours. God is in charge of this, right? So what you said, Vic, I no longer watch the news like before, right? You can't watch the news like before. Yeah, you don't have to stop watching it. My pastor, Stephen Furtick, he said, I'm aware of what's going on. I'm not always watching it. I'm aware of the news. And that's something when he said, I was like, good, I like that because I believe that's what I was doing, but I hadn't put it into words. So I'm aware of what's going on, but I'm not getting caught up in watching that nonsense. All right. And the same report over and over again. Yeah. And you know what? Come on, the news, they only change a couple of angles of the story from the morning news to the afternoon news to the evening news to the night news. They don't change the whole thing. They just change a different source of what somebody said, giving you a new person to be angry at Because the thing is, anger, like I said, anger is a reactionary emotion. If I can keep you angry, I can control you. And think about that. Because see, if I can keep, and the reason I say it's a reactionary emotion, because if you're mad at somebody, you're angry, you say, okay, here comes that person now. You know what? Let me stick my foot out. And if they touch my foot, I can haul off and hit them. And it looked like I was, doing it as a reflex, where they threw the first blow. See? And so now they come, boom, but 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm ready to put, and they don't kick my foot. Man, oh man, that's okay. That's okay. When they come back the other way, I'm going to get them. And now I'm going to stick my foot out a little further. And now you stick your whole body out there. See, so now they come 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they don't kick your foot. So you were pressured up, ready to make it look like you were the person who was being attacked, and you were reacting. So they controlled you. They controlled your mind coming the first wave, but and then they controlled your body when you moved it out further for them to violate you. Anger is a reactionary emotion. We want to try to have to legitimately respond to something that someone else does, which does what? It gives them control over us. So applying negativity geared toward energy reduction, see, both of those will take away your energy because they keep you from doing something that you needed to get done. So let that stuff go. Actually negate God's expectations and requirements. The energy you use in suppressing or spreading the negativity takes you away from the productive work that helps remind you of one of the several places in the Bible that states that the battle is not yours. Right? See that, Deborah? See, there's several places that state it, but let me go back first. You suppress energy. See, when you're positive energy, you're holding, no, I'm not going to say nothing because you're full of that anger or you'll spread the negativity. I'm going to make sure that they get the, I had a friend call me, oh yeah, you need to watch the news that showed how the people who left the Capitol, now they can't get on the flights. I'm not getting pleasure in that. I really don't care about that. I really don't, because it gives me somebody new to get angry at who thinks that they are in the right. We're going to come to that anyway. But let's go back to what I just said. And that is that last sentence that says, the energy you use in suppressing or spreading the negativity takes you away from productive work that helps remind you of the several places in the Bible that states that the battle is not yours. So here's one of them. 2 Chronicles 20, 15, and 17 says, do not be afraid. Don't be discouraged by this mighty army. Oops, I got a typo in there. That's the mighty army, for the battle is not yours. And then 2 Corinthians 20 and 22 goes and 24 goes on to say, at the moment they began to sing and praise God and give praise. Slow down, Sporty. At the moment they began to sing and give praise, the Lord caused the armies of Ammon, Moab, and Mount Seir to start fighting among themselves. So when the army of Judah arrived at the lookout point in the wilderness, there were dead bodies lying on the ground for as far as they could see. And I want you to see that this is a positive message, not a negative message. Look at that one part of the line that says, the Lord caused the armies to start fighting among themselves. In other words, that asks you to patiently go back to what I said to John Luke. And that is, like most champions, our crumbling must come from the inside after losing focus of how we became strong. There are people on the inside who see your light. They will have to take action. Think about it. I cannot hear or trust someone that I've been fighting all along just to come on over to my side. Right? My focus must be on keeping my side strong and worthy of joining. If you're not aware of all the things that my co-authors volunteered about who you are, knowing you serve the Almighty God, knowing that you're amazing, knowing that people know, allowing people to treat you with respect, and how these add up to anchor you in faith. These are the things that my co-authors made you aware of. If you're not aware of all of those things, you will lose sight of what you really control and what you need to control, and that is your actions. You need to control your actions. And by that, what I'm saying is what you consciously do to take your stand. What action will you do to take your stand? Because as I mentioned, both sides in any conflict believe that God is on their sides, their side. And one of my actions, besides what I told you about the news, how I allow the news to come into my day, one of my actions is this broadcast. This is a conscious step that I take. It's this broadcast. There will be someone who will not hire me to speak or do business with their group based on my opinion right here. But notice that I didn't say I'll lose business. I said there will be people who will not hire me to speak or do business with their group. But I did not say that I will lose business. Because see, my business cannot grow if my audience refuses to heed what I deliver. I'm a messenger. If my audience refuses to heed what I deliver, instead, I'll get a reputation for being a false messenger. Didn't I say focus? Put yourself first. FOCUS. Finding ourselves creates unlimited success. Focus on you and let other people come into focus. So you can't help anybody until you help yourself. But more importantly, not more importantly, but equally importantly, but moving up the ladder in my definition in this time and for this example is you can't help anyone who doesn't want your help. So that's why I won't lose business by taking my stand. I can't help anybody who doesn't want my help. And so therefore they will consider me a false messenger. They will make sure that they tell somebody else, nah, we heard him, but we didn't like what he had to say. They're going to do that. I would rather they continue to do that in their circle rather than mine. So I won't lose business. I just won't do business with certain people. Okay, Tanya, I stopped watching the news that much. I started getting anxiety, not focusing on the good energy. Right. And this is the beauty. And this is what I'm saying to you about me being a messenger. And see, I'm not bringing you rocket science, am I? You know, you actually stopped watching the news because you felt the anxiety. Now you're like, oh, wait a minute. So that's a great suggestion. And maybe somebody else suggested it. I ain't gonna act like I just came up with it. But you heard it before. Now somebody else has to, oh, wait a minute, I hadn't thought of that. Let me see. And see, you saw the effects, the impact that it had on you. Why? Because you had to focus on you. You saw that it was creating the anxiety and taking away your good energy. You took care of yourself. See, and that's what I'm saying to you. By telling you to take care of yourself, put yourself first, I'm not really bringing you rocket science on that. We do it. But we're not conscious of it sometimes. We think that I'm taking care of everybody else. No, you got to take care of yourself so that you can take care of everybody else. You've been doing it all along. If you don't take care of yourself physically, you can't pick somebody up when they fall and help them up to the bed or help them out of the bed. If you don't take care of yourself mentally, you can't give someone good advice when they have a career decision to make or a tough decision that they have to make about where they're going with their life. If you not take care of yourself spiritually, you can't tell somebody that they need to have faith. And faith is the things that are unseen, and they have to believe in God and the Bible based on what you've done and how you hung in there and stuck it out. You can't take care of anybody until you take care of yourself. And then here, just my brother in South Carolina, Rich, amen. No news. You know how they say no news is good news? Yeah, no news. Sometimes you have to stop watching the news. So try it for a day and then try it for 2. I'm not saying that you have to go newsless for the week and forever. Just be aware. Like a soap opera, the situation is not going to change. We have to be what changes. And so let me take you back into what I was saying, how that manifests itself in my message. What'd you say, Tanya? Tanya had awareness of the impact the news was having on her mental health. Yes. And thank you for bringing those two words in there, mental health, because we have Mental Health Awareness Month, and mental health is such a there's such a stigma in every community because nobody wants to admit that they need help. Yo, mental health does not mean that you're crazy. If you're stressed out, if you're dealing with anxiety, if you deal right now with COVID, there's a lot of mental health issues because now people have to, you don't want to be comfortable with death, but how you handle it is really important. And so that could really be a mental health issue. So I'm 65. More of my friends will be dying now based on age, not on any kind of illness, but maybe where the age is impacted by the illness. So as you get a certain age, you have to technically in some way become more and more comfortable with death because you start to lose more friends just by the numbers. A lot of different ways of looking at it, y'all. But here's the key. What Deborah just said and how she uplifted Tanya's message, and that's a mental health issue. Anxiety. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with you. You can get help. There's nothing wrong with going to therapy. Check your insurance. I always definitely tell my military family, they got access to free therapy. And so they need to make sure. And let me give a shout out to my good friend, Angela Young in South Carolina. I think she's in Columbia. But if she's not, then y'all need to find out where she is. But I know she's got a great therapy clinic that she has started in her own business. So there's a lot of stuff, y'all. So thank you, Deborah, for bringing up mental health, because everything is involved with every message. So here's what I want to say to you. Okay. What we want to do is take action, not to make America great again, but to have peace. HAVE, help America value everyone. That's what we have to do. That's what was not on display at the Capitol last week. We were not having peace. We were not helping America value everyone. We were showing how divided America is. And now the news is helping us make it more divided. I'm not telling my friends who support Trump to drop their friendship from my Facebook. I'm not. It's just their choice. Guess what? I'm not going. If they want to continue to hear me, use anti-Trump rhetoric, then that's fine. That's their choice. And I'm not going to their page to troll their page. This is part of America. Is the free speech. I do tell people that my page does not honor the First Amendment. I will not let you come on my page and speak against my beliefs. But I'm not doing that because I don't respect and honor your beliefs. I'm not going on your page doing it. And there's what Deborah said. You got to, that's the allowable. You have to teach people how to treat you. And so it's important that, don't get caught up in the anger. Because once you tell somebody how much you hate what they believe in, what happens? It makes them believe in it a little stronger because they want to defy you. You don't tell me how to run my life. And so they don't see your side. When in the Bible I read, it shows that both sides, consider themselves as checking with the Lord and seeing that the Lord is on their side. When you watch the movies and the war movies, they say a prayer and both sides say that God is what is on our side. They don't, neither side says, man, we down with the devil. They're like, no, God is on our side. We're in this for the right reason. So help America value everyone by sticking to who you are, making a stand for who you are. And that is going to make the difference. Excuse me. That will help America. That will help you deal with your anger, because I'm not saying that you should not get angry. I'm saying you should not let anger control you. Anger is a legitimate emotion. You will get angry, but can you minimize anger's time in your space? You can minimize it by exercising and recognizing what it is. So the 3 affirmations I gave you, see that those are what anger, when you in those angry moments, see which one of those applies. And then awareness. Be aware of who you are, your surroundings. Watch what you're spreading because you could be the negative news as well. Don't jump to make sure everybody knows that this and such happened. Hey, you're going to still be who you are. But just think about some things and just slow down. Next week, we'll be using the letter B. So I thank my co-authors again for what you did today to help me with the letter A in bringing our message. So thank you, Deborah, Victor, Sabrina, Roger, Carol, and Ramona. Okay. But next week, we're going to be dealing with the letter B. So if you like to get a word with the letter B included into the message, just stick it right there, right now, stick it in the thread, and I will be honored to co-author that message with you. Let's see if we got it. Okay, I won't be a stumbling block for others. See, block could be your B word for next week. There you go, Deborah. Bam! Yeah, you don't want to be a stumbling block for other people. And so, so it's, and I don't know when you posted that, but in regard to what I was saying, because there's always context is important, of when you say what you say. Okay. And so Zet, brave. Ooh, and that's one of my favorite words. Spoiler alert, just in case I don't make it to next week. I always say that the brave, just as I told you about not watching the news before you go to sleep, do you know that the bravest thing you do, you can do, and you do it every day, is lay down and go to sleep. That's bravery, y'all, because you have no guarantee that you're going to wake up tomorrow or even if it's just a nap. So that's the bravest thing you can do. And that's why it's beautiful. And I'm going to create the message still next week, but that's why it's beautiful to go back to what Sabrina said about knowing that you're amazing. You have to see your own beauty. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Look in your mirror and see beauty every single day and as often as possible. And then, so I'm going to just go in and put the word block on for you. Don't let anybody block your blessings. But more importantly, don't you block your blessings. How do you block your blessings? You block them by the people you surround yourself with. And it still goes back to what Deb gave us about allowing. You have to teach people how to treat you. And so if people are mistreating you, then you have to block them out of your life, or you are allowing them to do that, and therefore they will continue to do it. So even if you're watching the broadcast, put some words with the letter, start with the letter B in the thread, and I will get those into next week's message. But again, you be careful and know that everything is going to be fine. So like I say, today's letter was A, so I say, hey, have a good day. Thanks for enjoying and sharing in Glue Wednesday. Be sure to check out my other platforms where I posted on my business page, I posted on YouTube, and I posted on LinkedIn. So, but definitely if you would go to YouTube for me and subscribe to the station, even if you don't want to watch it there, subscribe, because subscribers on YouTube makes a difference for my business. And then also, if you ever want to watch them sequentially, you can go to YouTube because they're right in the order, one behind the other, that you can, and you can skip back and forth. And then they're all listed by according to whether they were Glue Wednesday, Gift Friday, or Monday Morning Moment. Okay, so you can put them in order. And then, Deb, okay, what you say, Deb? Don't put words in your mouth. You're gonna go with believe. So I will go with believe, and I'll let block be one of my words, because the block I grew up on, in a lot of my homies are on the block, on the thread right now. That's why we call ourselves Grant Projects. Block, Grant for life, and believe, because your beliefs are important. So again, thank you for joining me on Glue Wednesday. Put some comments in the thread and be safe. Wear your mask. Over and out. Ciao.